Good morning and welcome to my crypto analysis. I'm JR and today is the 5th day of March, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to do a quick Ripple analysis as well as a Bitcoin analysis. I've been making a recommendation here to buy Ripple in this red zone here. Again, we want to look to buy at the lows. We want to sell at the highs. For those of you who have never seen my analysis, one of the things that I look at when I'm looking at these charts, I'm looking at price action and what price is doing. As you can see here, that back in January of 2017, Ripple was trading in at just under 68 pips. Now, if you don't know what pips are, is basically you have 10 cents, you have a cent, 10 pips, and then you have 1 pip. So back in January, this thing was trading at roughly around 70 pips, right? In March, this thing took off and it went up to 7 cents. It corrected about, you saw a correction of about, let's see here, about 61% correction before the market just took off again. And then you saw another high of 40 cents. So it went roughly from 6 cents down to almost 1 cent, about 2 cents and a half. And then from here, about in April, it took off and it went to 39 cents. So again, just a huge move to the upside. Then we had a little bit of a pause. The market really just took a pause and it started correcting. At this point was when I made my recommendation to start buying some Ripple. Especially when I saw that this market broke out of this trend line here. You saw a big, nice move, which indicated there's some buyers in this area here. And that's when I made my recommendation to start acquiring Ripple, roughly between 15 cents all the way up to 25 cents. I was all right with acquiring Ripple. And then finally, in December, the market took off and it went from 27 cents all the way up to $3.30. That was the high. Since then, it's doing the same thing it's been doing here throughout its timeline, right? Now, one of the things that you'll notice here on this chart here is as prices go up, these highs become really small, right? So, for example, over here, you have a really big move to the upside. And then as time goes by, that big move becomes a really small move, right? At least compared to the charts. You had this move to 6 cents, 7 cents, and then again broke down. And every time it breaks out, these moves just shrink, right? As you can see that the chart just shrinks it because it needs more room for the next move, right? So since then, we went to 39 cents. So let's keep following this here. Finally broke out of that trend. And you saw what happened here back in December. The market just took off, didn't really come back, tested 330, and since then we've been again on a downward market, right? Again, this is not really a market that you want to trade unless you're going to sit next to the computer here for hours and hours and hours on end. If you're not that type of person that's going to do that, I wouldn't do that. Definitely the accumulation zone will probably be below. For me, I like accumulating Ripple here anywhere in this area so long as we're below this high, right? I think eventually what will happen in the next coming months, I would estimate, 6 to 7, 8 months. Unfortunately, time is really the most difficult thing to predict. But I would predict that this accumulation zone is going to continue to accumulate some buyers. Anytime we come into this zone, you're going to accumulate little big moves to the upside, kind of like what we see here. We could see this market come back down, test the 80, test the 60, test even the $50 range. But ultimately, I expect this market to continue to move up. This is eventually going to shrink. And then we're gonna just have a move to the $7 or $8 range, which is really the next leg up after we break above this high. I like this area here for buying, but again, just a phenomenal opportunity. I think for the long haul, I think this can easily reach $8, $9, $10. Once you start using Ripple, once you start utilizing Bitcoin, you'll see how much of a need there is for a currency like this. Okay. As far as Bitcoin is concerned, Bitcoin just broke out of that downtrend also, just like Ripple. So it looks like it'll probably just bounce here and there and then eventually take off. I would probably say within the next 6 months to a year, it'll take off. And again, it'll probably go to the next step, which is probably going to be around 30,000, between 27,000 and 30,000. That's my analysis. All right. That's it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, contact your representatives, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.